You know, we've all gotten pretty good at talking to AI, but what if I told you the real skill, the thing that separates a cool demo from a powerful, reliable AI system, isn't about writing the perfect prompt at all? We're going to go beyond the prompt today and dive into something way more powerful: context engineering.
So, to see why this is so important, let's meet an AI travel agent. We'll call him Agent Graham. You give Graham what seems like a totally clear instruction. Book a hotel in Paris for the conference. And Graham cheerfully replies, "Booked. Enjoy Paris, Kentucky." Whoops. That is a massive and, let's be honest, a very expensive mistake.
It really makes you wonder, right? How can these incredibly smart, powerful AIs make such dumb, basic mistakes? Well, the answer isn't just about trying to write a slightly better prompt. It's about completely changing the world the AI is operating in.
And that's the big shift we're talking about. We have to move beyond just prompting. We need to start thinking more like architects, building a system for the AI.
So you might be thinking, okay, is context engineering just another buzzword for prompt engineering? Absolutely not. They are two totally different things. Think of it like this. Prompt engineering is the art of having a good conversation with an AI. But context engineering, that's the science of building the right world for that AI to live in. It's a system, not just a sentence.
And this isn't just me saying this. Toby Lütke, the CEO of Shopify, nailed it. He said it's about providing all the context to make the task plausibly solvable. And that's the key phrase right there. You're setting the AI up for success before it even starts.
Okay, so if we're building a world for our AI, what's it actually made of? What are the building blocks? Let's take a look at the anatomy of context.
To make this super simple, let's use an analogy. Just imagine a large language model is a world-class chef. This chef has incredible skills, right? But they can't read your mind. They need some direction.
Now, a simple prompt is like walking up to that chef and just saying, "Make a birthday dinner." I mean, you might get something incredible. Or you might get a peanut butter sandwich. It's a total gamble. Context engineering, on the other hand, is like handing that chef the full recipe, a guest list with all the allergies noted, and an inventory of everything in the pantry. You see? You're taking away all the guesswork. You are architecting a successful outcome.
So, if we put a pin in it, here's the formal definition. Context engineering is the discipline of designing and building dynamic systems that give a large language model the right information in the right format at exactly the right time. It really is the difference between just talking and being an architect.
So what are these ingredients of context? Well, first you've got the instructions. That's your basic prompt and the rules of the game. Then you add knowledge, grounding the AI in actual facts from documents or databases. After that, you give it tools, like APIs, so it can actually do things in the real world, like check a calendar. You also give it memory of your past conversations, so it learns and gets better. And finally, you track its state, so you always know what it's working on. Put them all together, and you have a rich, dynamic world for the AI to work in.
You know, AI expert Andrej Karpathy has this fantastic metaphor for this. He says the LLM itself is the CPU, it's the powerful brain doing all the computation. But the context we provide, that's its RAM. It's short-term working memory. And the bigger and more organized that RAM is, the more powerful that CPU becomes.
Okay, that's great. We have all these ingredients for our AI's world: instructions, knowledge, tools, memory. But how do we actually manage all of that stuff? How do we give it everything it needs without just, completely overwhelming it?
Let's go back and save poor Agent Graham from booking that flight to Kentucky. To fix his mistake, we need to give him the right context. We need to provide knowledge, like the company travel policy. We need to give him a tool, like access to my calendar, which says Paris, France. And we need to tap into his memory of my hotel preferences. The question is, how do we get all that information to him efficiently?
And this right here, this is the big aha moment. There's a 4-part playbook for managing context. Number 1, write. Give the AI an external scratchpad to jot down notes. 2, select. Don't dump everything on it at once. Just pull in the most relevant info for the task at hand. 3, compress. Summarize long documents or conversations to save precious space. And finally, number 4, isolate. Break a huge job into smaller tasks and give them to specialized microagents. That's the playbook. Write, select, compress, and isolate. This is the heart of context engineering.
Let's look a little closer at that select strategy. This is where you'll hear about a technique called RAG, which stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. Honestly, just think of it as an open book exam for the AI. Instead of having to memorize the entire internet, it can retrieve or look up the exact fact it needs from a knowledge base, and then use that fact to generate a way better answer.
And what about that isolate strategy? Well, this one's just common sense. Why have one giant generalist AI try to do everything poorly when you can have a whole team of specialists? A multi-agent system gives different jobs to different micro-agents. You've got one that's an expert on calendars, another one that's a genius at comparing flight prices. Each one has its own small, focused context, which makes the whole system way smarter and way more reliable.
So how does this all come together when you're building something for the real world? When you move from a fun little chatbot to a production-grade AI system, the difference is one word: discipline. It becomes true engineering.
We all know what a simple prompt looks like, right? It's just a sentence. But a really well-engineered context, it looks a lot more like code. It's super structured. It uses things like XML tags or JSON schemas, which are really just clear, simple labels to organize every single piece of information, giving the AI a precise blueprint to follow. No room for confusion.
This disciplined approach gets captured in frameworks like the 12-factor agent. And the main idea here is all about control. For instance, the LLM doesn't actually book the flight. No way. It just outputs a structured plan, like a JSON file, that your code then executes. That means your system is in charge, not the AI. It's about owning the control flow, and that's how you build something you can actually rely on.
So just how much of the work is the context? Get this. In a lot of advanced AI systems, the final, complete message that gets sent to the model is something like 80% dynamic, system-provided context. Your original prompt, what you typed in, it's just a tiny piece of the puzzle. The system we build around the AI is doing most of the heavy lifting.
And that brings us to the most important idea of all. As these AI models get more and more powerful, maybe the most valuable human skill isn't learning how to talk to the AI, but learning how to build the right world for it to live in.